it's time for Multifamily Weekend Update with your hosts, Justin Dilley and Eric Sharp. Hey!
Hello, Justin. Happy Friday.
Hello, Eric. Happy Friday.
We're at
made
the
it.
end of July. We had a lot of Fridays in July.
There was a lot. There was one too many Fridays in July.
Too many. That's
was.
okay. That's okay. July is a fun month. It's a hot month.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's a hot month, and it's the very last day, July 31st. A lot of things happen on this day, but you were there, probably.
I was there.
I was there officially. A lot of people in our industry were there. Not everybody, but a lot of folks were around on July 31st, 1981. This day in history, MTV launched.
I was not there. I was actually not there.
That's right. That's right.
I was there for the first TRL live. I remember that.
That's a different thing.
That was a big deal. It was a big deal.
It was.
Not the same though. Not the same
I wasn't there officially. I was alive, but I wasn't in my MTV generation yet. But the video that started it all, the very first one they aired was Video Killed the Radio Star.
That's right. We've learned not to play copyright material on here because it gets us it gives us issues when we're on YouTube.
Yeah. Right. YouTube or TikTok, depending on where it gets caught. YouTube mostly. Well, but you can sing it though. You could sing part of it for us.
Video
Eric.
Killed the Radio Star. Yep, that's all I got. Yep.
Yeah. That's it?
That's it. That's all I'm gonna give you.
Oh.
I'm just gonna I'm just gonna go to my LLM and just kill everything else.
There you go. So AI is that was my son leaving for friends. He's getting up to the lake. I won't see him until Sunday.
Bye, teenager.
So if the music video killed the radio, if the VJs killed the DJs, what's AI gonna kill?
Well, maybe creativity. Maybe creativity. At this point, I think AI is now looking at other AI and using that as inspiration. And we're getting into this tight cyclical arena where AI thinks that other AI generated content is good and it's being rewarded using the rewarding system for that. And, nowadays you see lots of multifamily property managers using AI to their benefit, right? To come up with flyers, anything to incentivize folks to lease at their apartment, all the way up to, heads of marketing and sales folks, and everyone's using AI for everything. But LinkedIn officially announced with the thing here, they're saying, hey, you can mark things as AI-slop now.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, slop is different than using it as a tool where it's finessed, right? Where a human actually touches the output, where a human re-edits the output. My wife was doing something in Canva the other day using AI, but inside of Canva, you still have to be human to manipulate things. So you're not just dumping it out and saying, "Oh, this is my thing." I think it's important to be able to flag these things.
This makes sense.
So AI in our industry, I wonder if there's a day. Okay, yes, and we have don't do AI graphics. Yes, that's unless you want to cartoon yourself, because I still like doing that for myself.
It's fun.
It's fun. But no, in all seriousness, like people in these communities, like I've seen my networks, theater, performing arts, education. I've seen people flag, like if they see that kind of marketing, they're like, no, you can't do that. You have to stand for something else. And so I think you'll see people I think it'll be a hybrid, but I think with this new stuff, I think there'll be more places to mark AI-slop.
We're gonna have to get there at some point here. Speaking of companies that I wished used AI, Equity Residential and AvalonBay have officially announced their new company name, Vivmark.
Yes, and that is not their official logo, correct?
Not the logo. This is AI generated, and I did it because, gosh darn it, I don't have enough time.
Well, also, I mean, we could just go to their website and maybe grab it now.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's a good idea. Let's just go. We'll scoot over to the website.
What's it say there?
It's I guess they opted not to use AI. In fact, they opted not to even put anything on the website.
No. Yeah, I guess it's what would we call this, a soft launch?
Yeah, I mean, we've got their ticker. The ticker symbol's out. They're publicly traded.
All right. Well, that's probably a huge important piece of what they're focused on.
But yeah, I mean, publicly traded company. They announced the new name yesterday. I'm sure the marketing team is just scrambling to get a website up. Nonetheless, a teaser page. I'm kind of shocked there's no teaser page here.
Yeah, even just, yes, a waiting page. So aside from the soft launch, aside from the website, it's official, and the CEO of AvalonBay is going to carry on being CEO of Vivmark.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff. Oh, more news.
We got more top news here. Yeah.
What's this?
Rent stabilization. So we're reading here, not just low income renters. So about 10% of New York's rent stabilized apartments are actually occupied by some folks who maybe don't need to be occupying them. They're earning more than $200,000 a year.
Right.
Justin.
Yeah, again, this is an article. An article came out this week in the Wall Street Journal that kind of details this. I mean, one of the highlights, and actually, Jay Parsons posted about this, I think, a day or two ago. Adding some additional color and context. Essentially, right? People conflate, right, rent control versus rent stabilization, and all these different kinds of things. This particular program, the rent stabilization program, it's not tied to any kind of income. Like it's basically tied. The program is tied to the outputs of what somebody can do, and therefore anyone could rent inside of these places.
That is interesting. Yeah. I mean, normally we tie it to income, right? You're looking at tax records, you're looking at, current job wages, in order to qualify for these. And that's incredible that this statistic is about 10% of households earning more than $200,000 a year have access and are currently in rent stabilized apartments.
Right. Well, and I think it's the whole chicken or egg thing a little bit. I mean, to broad stroke, but the whole thing, it raises the question of, should rent stabilization be more focused on an affordability program or to regulate markets? And so I think obviously regulating markets helps consumers, but if it's not tied to the affordability piece, then are we missing what, are we solving the right problem?
Or maybe, Justin, maybe this program did work so well for these folks that they're now earning 200,000 plus, right? So maybe this 10% is the example of, after being in rent stabilized apartment for 4 or 5 years, they've now grown up and potentially out of it. Therefore, these households can and should have maybe a year period after they've, hit the threshold, maybe on year 2, if they're hitting it above the threshold again, then that's when they're politely asked, hey, you're no longer allowed to live here. We're going to give you 6 months, ample time to find a new place, but you are going to have to move out because you've graduated above this program.
Well, I'm going to add just another not layer or not devil's advocate, but just kind of to say what the data doesn't show is any previous years where a typical person earning, like, let's say whatever's relevant to 200,000 10 years ago, if they were in stabilized apartment, they could save money and theoretically buy a house because that's what they wanted to do. But now, even though everything has gone up, the savings of somebody earning $200,000 is less and housing is higher. So these people can't move into a house, right? If they've been in a stabilized apartment for a while, they're going to stay there because it's a better fiscal move. And so there's a whole other piece that isn't talked about in this article.
Great highlight here. Great article in the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah. Some more industry highlights. So let's take it away. Let's start with apartmentbuilding.com. I've never heard of this. I haven't seen it before, but apparently they have 100 list, 100 movers and shakers in multifamily. And they are now accepting nominations for, I think, the 2026 folks who are the movers and shakers. So if you know somebody, if you want to nominate somebody, go to apartmentbuilding.com. Eric may be grabbing something so that we can throw it up here.
I actually just went to the plural domain name and it didn't work. So apartment building. Yeah.
Huh. Anyway, and we see a lot of these awards, right, from different kinds of people, the top voices in the industry, or the Globe Street folks, or the Spherix has one. They all have different kinds of things. You see a lot of crossover. Eric, what is somebody that you not who, but like what qualities do you typically say, like, oh, these are people that I'm looking at, or they're definitely movers or shakers? Like, what do you see from those kinds of folks?
I think it's both someone who kind of like shows up regularly to talk about the topic, that is very well versed in it, has a lot of experience dealing with it, but also someone who is still actively participating. I oftentimes enjoy seeing veterans in our industry that get highlighted as quote unquote advocates, but sometimes you get too far removed. I like to see a mix of generations and a mix of the up and coming folks, all the way up to those that have kind of been there, done that for 2, 3, 4 decades sometimes. To me, it's interesting finding an industry veteran who's talking about like AI in the industry, whereas like that's perfectly acceptable for someone who's been in the industry for 5 years to talk about. So I'd love to see some of these younger voices coming in and talking about certain aspects of how our industry is changing, specifically when it comes to new technologies or new things that are iterating on renting.
Yeah. New or even unheard, or not as focused, because to your point is, a list like this is like, oh yes, I've seen these people before and I know and appreciate and value what they say. But at some point, if you're not discovering kind of new like things that you didn't know, how valuable does the list become? It's a good call out. Speaking of lists, Propezzo's, I guess, annual now PMS chart in terms of how many residential units are covered. I mean, there's many lists that Propezzo does. This Remen posted this most recent version, noting some changes from the previous list. Big things were changes in Entrata really dropping down from a previous list because of how the numbers were calculated. And also taking all of the RealPage products and putting them together. So RealPage and AppFolio really being kind of like neck and neck. Not a ton of change with Yardi and MRI, although Yardi kind of, I think, gained a few 500,000 some units. And this is all globally. So everybody, I feel like I have deja vu again, because MRI has the largest residential units globally. And most people, I mean, we broadcast this show to the States. Most people in the States don't aren't aware of that. They're not experiencing it in the same way. So they're like, what does this mean? Is this commercial? Is this global? Is this, it is global. But it's interesting because, your point of view is from where you sit. And I would say probably most of those people, and I might do a post on this myself, most of those people that are commenting probably haven't. I've been at MRI for 4 years, so I have a little insider, information on this. Most of those people that have all these thoughts probably haven't sat down with anyone at MRI in like over a decade, like truly to see the product. And so that's just a call out just to say, I mean, this is for any product, not for like any product. These products and the scope of any tech company changes constantly. It's really fast. So your Yardis, your AppFolios, all of them, if you're not touching base with them on a couple year basis, you probably don't know the product the way that you think you do.
Oh, I mean, every year, right? I mean, ultimately, there's always new features and new things getting added into any product. But yeah, like you said, I mean, MRI just has tons of products that affect more than just multifamily, across the world. And that's that challenge. To me, that makes sense as to why MRI tops the list ultimately.
Right. Yeah. And sort of the longevity, some of it's mergers and acquisitions, but mergers and acquisitions just isn't covering real estate, to like just grabbing units. It's also merging and acquiring technology. So you're acquiring platforms that then help build your own platform. So kind of interesting and a very helpful list. Going to the last one here. Oops, not yet.
That was me. It's okay.
All right. Is the 60-day budget checklist, which was very, very cool. It is budget season, right? We're talking to a lot of folks. We're seeing a lot of folks talk about budgets, get ready for budget camp, get ready for that. And I am going to mispronounce his name. Do you know how to pronounce his name?
Brian's name.
Is it Bryant?
Bryant. Yeah. Carcamo.
All right. I let you do that. I love Brian's content. I need to learn how to pronounce his name fully so I can fluently say it. He put together a 60-day budget checklist.
Yeah. And I'm looking up his exact post because I love to share it with everyone here. But
yeah, and I think there is a lot. I think what's so helpful about this is that there are so many moving pieces that go into budgeting for a property, for a portfolio, that this is a nice way of like working on kind of a guide. A lot of times there are guides that we get for, how to handle, leasing, how to handle maintenance. And there's all these different kinds of guides for things. We talk about budgets a lot. There is budget content out there, but sometimes you don't see it in such a clean way. So I thought this was kind of cool.
Yeah, I'll throw a link up here for everyone in the audience. They can take a look. In just a moment here, you can take a look at Brian's post.
There it is. You can grab that, scan that, and very cool stuff. Thank you to everybody. A lot of fun stuff this week. I do want to call out somebody else that's doing I'm going to take it as they probably didn't see my week in review, but they're doing their own week in review in commercial real estate, specifically based on like LinkedIn. Paul Briggs has dropped volume 6 and of a week in review. And I will say, after doing this now for over 2 years and putting out something every Friday, I won't say call me in 2 years, but call me in 2 years and let's chat, because it's not an easy load. I will tell you that. There are Fridays where it gets exhausting, and Eric, you know that too.
Yeah, I mean, not just collecting the news, right, but really trying to put together a story and wrap it all together and line it all together every week can be challenging. That's why you see us, sometimes fumbling a football, but the beauty of it is we try to just keep the show running.
Right. And you'll never make everybody happy. Believe me, I've definitely, people have sent me private notes and said, oh, why did you say it like that? Or what's this? And we always fix it or change it so that it's not,
Yeah.
you know, it reflects you in the best light. Even though sometimes news, sometimes information doesn't. That's the other part of it. But
Well,
we're not here to smear people or
speaking
things.
of being in the best light here,
Oh
it
yeah.
looks we're losing a face here, so I'm going to move us to this.
Okay.
But we're so you're going to be speaking with the folks at Foxen and NetVendor.
Yeah, just moderating and listening, to Dave Cooper and Kevin Jacobson. NetVendor and Foxen are kind of talking about closing this multifamily insurance compliance gap, talking about how they work together. I'm familiar with both of these companies, separately. So it'll be a nice casual conversation. I'm there on behalf of. I appropriately wore. I didn't wear this shirt, but MMN is a part of supporting that initiative, and so I'm
Although,
moderating.
fun fact, I see NMM.
I know
it's reversed.
It's supposed to be my 9-inch nails in for honor of the
Hey.
MTV thing. No.
There you go. I appreciate that.
Yes. So anyway, yeah, this will be a great conversation. Make sure to claim your spot. There's definitely time. Spots have not filled up, but it'll be next week on the 4th.
Very cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, and I look forward to speaking at my next speaking gig is going to be in September. At the MMN crew is going to be in Blueprint in Las Vegas in September, and you'll be there as well. You're going.
I will be. I'll be listening to you and other roundtables and taking notes and talking to people. A lot of different folks. So
wonderful.
Looking forward to it.
Well,
what else do we have, sir?
We're winding down here. There's a great article that I saw, and thank you, Chelsea Nealand, for posting about this article. There's a gentleman, Mendel Umener. He's 31 years old, or at least was at the time when he was interviewed. He declined to do an interview with us. We asked if he wanted to hang out with us, but basically, as you can tell here, he's a scholar. He loves to read books, and he got about 10,000 plus books in his 600 square foot apartment in the Upper East Side. And sadly, probably after routine inspection, it turned out that he was violating his lease terms by maintaining an over-cluttered fire hazard with combustible material. This is one of those classic deep in the lease that you're signing. There's lots of random clauses in there, no doubt, that don't affect most of us at all. But he had so many books there, and for someone that he's studying, he's a scholar, this is his life. Like, this is what he needs. It's similar to someone who has a bunch of fish. They love fish. Excuse me. Or someone who has a bunch of computers because they fix computers, right? I mean, at the end of the day, he was just doing what he loves to do. It's both a passion and work for him, and he was evicted because of it.
Yeah. That's so this isn't his apartment. This is a staged photo. Because I guess a question would be, right? So I'm playing devil's advocate. If the books are in places that are like, there's so many books and they're stacked up in the kitchen, they're stacked next to the radiator or the heater. Like if there's so many books where it's also a fire could easily happen. Same thing with like the dude that likes, or the woman who likes computers. At some point, if you're jamming in like 100 computers into like one outlet, that's a fire hazard. So it's like, what part of that? I mean, I love to read. My wife does not like having a lot of books around. We like have some, so we have a lot of books in storage, which I guess is technically a fire hazard. But I don't live. It's a single family house, so no one's.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it would have been smart had they suggested, hey, like, why don't we get some of your books and put them into storage? I mean, it's cheaper to
Right.
keep a tenant in place and pay for $50 a month storage or $100 a month storage. Bite the bullet, maybe split the cost with them. Be like, look, we don't want you to leave. We like you as a tenant, but it's a fire hazard. So we either ask you to move your books in storage, help defray the cost. And obviously, they're not going to help defray the cost. Because if they do that for him, then other people will turn around and go, oh, how about me storing my bikes or storing this? So, just one of these interesting stories where, it did end up with an eviction. Would have been great to have Mendel on the show, but I thought it was such a great story to really shine the light on the challenges that, both, operations teams deal with on a daily basis. But, really, should a renter be punished for this? And in the eyes of Reddit, because I read through the Reddit article, and everyone's, basically saying, look, yeah, this popular opinion says this is a huge fire hazard, ultimately.
Yeah.
This is true. Audible could have definitely come in and swooped in on this and done something fun here.
It's hard, right? People have books, they have things, but if you're not following certain protocols, it's tough. It's tough, but yeah, very, very good story. So on this show, for the 4 people that watch it regularly,
the live listeners, the hundreds of other listeners who catch our clips and the replay.
Right, but the ones that are following along at home and have been with us a percentage of the almost 100 episodes, that every week we take something totally not related to multifamily, and whether it's a holiday, a thing, or whatever,
and try to relate it
back. And sometimes it bombs. Like sometimes it's really bad. Although I'll stand by my my cocktail, like multifamily inspired cocktails for National Cocktail Day, and we gotta bring that back. But it's a little easier. We were thinking oh, MTV, what do we do? Like real estate. We don't even have to do anything. MTV already did it.
Yeah.
MTV jumped the shark a long time ago in the 90s and got more and more away from music. And they did MTV Cribs, which would, if you don't know, focused on celebrities, often musicians, but I know Shaq was on there, other folks were on there. And they would go through their apartments, their homes. Usually they were kind of cool, oh, this is their recording studio. And there was...
Oh yeah, the $50,000 recording studio,
the horses that they might have, or the crazy basketball court, the pools,
their 10-car garage, right? Yeah, of course. Just really showing off how unique and interesting some of their homes were.
But there was one artist that we all remember, and we're just going to leave it at that as we show you a little snippet of his crib.
Over here is where I keep stuff I don't use. In my, how you got a shoebox of shit in your house? Well, I keep that in the kitchen. This is what I call the dollar box. If I need some money, I just run to the dollar box and go get me some bread or some juice, what I need. It comes in handy. You should keep one in the house.
I need to find my dollar box. I
should always have a dollar box. Yeah.
I think I misplaced it in COVID.
Keep it in the freezer. Keep your extra money in the freezer. You'll never think to go there.
Yeah.
Until an emergency. Well, that was great. Great find there, Justin. Yep.
Yeah. Well, have a great weekend, and we'll see you here back in August.
See y'all.
Yeah.
Back in August. School starts in the South, and things are getting back in session.